Hey everyone, it's Kino here. Welcome to the Encyclopedia of Yoga. This episode is all about Chaturanga Dandasana, the four-pointed staff pose. Come to a comfortable seated position, close your eyes. Bring your hands together, allow yourself a long, deep inhalation. Slowly drop your hands down and open the eyes. When you're first starting the practice, you might feel like I did, that this Chaturanga Dandasana position, the push-up, which is actually the push-down, is kind of impossible. I felt like that when I started the practice. The only thing I could do was really belly flop to the ground. There wasn't a lot of technique and instruction. So I've designed this video to guide you through the foundational elements of the pose so that you can build up strength from whatever level you're at. Hopefully choosing a modification that will eventually lead you into developing more intelligence, more awareness, more aliveness in the shoulders and in the whole body. Let's start off with the pronunciation. Repeat after me. Chaturanga Dandasana. Chaturanga Dandasana. Chaturanga Dandasana. Chaturanga, four-pointed Dandasana staff pose. In Ashtanga Yoga, this is also known as Chatwari position or fourth position. As the traditional sun salutations are counted in Sanskrit, Ekam, Dve, Trini, Chatwari. Chatwari positions, Chaturanga Dandasana. The push-down position where the elbows are bent and your body's lowered to the ground. To understand this posture, you have to really think about a staff position. Your body represents the staff. So that's from the head down to the feet. The whole torso and the legs are knit together in a strong front body squeeze. The 4 points that this staff makes with the floor, contact with the floor, through the hands and through the feet. So let's get comfortable in the position of Chaturanga Dandasana. Now the easiest way to feel Chaturanga is to lie on your stomach. Now, this shouldn't be too hard. We'll start off lying on your stomach. I love using the floor as a support to learn Chaturanga because the floor is infinitely there for you and very flat. So let's work on the body position. Curl the toes under, lift the kneecaps off the ground, take your hands to the hips. Then rotate the tailbone under. Try to squeeze your glutes just a little bit and lift the muscles of the lower abdomen in. Then firm the muscles around the lower ribs and align your hands with the lower ribs. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, but do not pinch them together. So not like that, just down the back. Find latissimus dorsi, look at the corners of the shoulders. Avoid pointing them down and instead point them forward. So here we have our first Chaturanga. Now push into the heels so that you can get a little bit of a bounce. And let's bounce about 5 times. Bounce, 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 bounce. You can have a little fun with it. Bounce and hold your bounce back. Stay there for a moment and again, tailbone under, weight in through the heels and start to push into the ground. Push as though you're about to come off the ground. We'll stay here, stay here, stay here, relax. Then inhale, Chaturanga on the floor. Keep the chest down, relax. Again, Chaturanga. So you get a push back into the heels, relax. Again, push back into the heels, relax. One more, push back into the heels. And now just for fun, little up. All the way down. Okay, point your feet, relax for a moment. Chaturanga is hard. This is a really hard pose. We're going for a push down position. It's extremely difficult. Okay, so how are we gonna work on it? Come up onto your hands and knees. And then the first thing we're gonna do is use some blocks. We're gonna line up the blocks, one on top of another, so that when you lower down, now you've taken the floor and elevated onto the blocks, so you can lower your body down onto the blocks. Okay, so let's set it up so that your hands are just in front of the blocks. Inhale, come up to plank. Okay, so get your plank and feet around hips width apart, hands shoulder width apart. Start to draw the elbows down and lower yourself down to the blocks. Then stay here for a moment, shoulders back, and try to feel as though your body's lifting itself a little off the blocks. We'll stay there for a few breaths. Put your knees down, come on back to plank position. Chaturanga is hard, even with the blocks there to help you. Inhale, come up, plank. Exhale to the blocks. Knees down. Inhale, come on back to plank. Wrap the elbows back so that you can go as slowly down as possible. Knees down, come on back up. Last one with the blocks. Inhale, plank, find your plank. Watch the shoulders, keep your body in one piece. As you lower down, find the blocks. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Lift yourself a little up, point the knees down. Come on back and let's move your blocks over to the side. Okay, so now we've done 2 chaturangas so far. One with blocks, one with the floor support. Chaturanga number 3, you're gonna go from plank all the way down to the floor. So now the same principles, what we did with the blocks, except we remove the blocks. This is a little harder. When you lower down to the floor, don't give your body weight to the floor. Simply use the floor as support for strength and alignment. Okay, let's set up. Here we go. Curl the toes, inhale, plank. Wrap your elbows back, so make sure they don't wing out, but back. And then exhale all the way down. Bend the knees. Come on back, hands and knees. Inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down. Then slowly, let's come all the way back up. Inhale, come back up to plank. Exhale slowly all the way down. Check your alignment, watch the shoulders, feel it in the shoulders, knees down. Last one, inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down to the floor as slow as you can. Keep your chaturanga, keep the chaturanga. Relax. Inhale, easy upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Now let's come down onto the knees. And then we're going to use the knees down to really begin our chaturanga work. Tuck the tailbone under, come forward, 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 and then exhale. Bend your elbows as you wrap in, press up. With the knees down, you might be able to easily come up and down. But if not, you can go all the way to the floor. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten up. All right. Use your lats, use your shoulders. You could even lift the toes off the ground to get more weight forward. Press up. Let's do that 3 more times. Wrap the elbows in as you lower the chest down. Straighten the arms, come up. 2 more. Wrap the elbows in. Inhale, come up. Feel your front body strength. Shoulder blades down. Inhale, come up. Okay. Rest for a moment. Shake it out. Ask yourself if you want to do that again with the knees down. If so, do that again. Otherwise, we're going to move in through a chaturanga progression. Now, instead of going all the way down to chaturanga, we're just going to bend the elbows a little so that you can feel plank like little chaturanga. If your body feels good, we'll go a little deeper. But remember that in these ones, we're going to go down and you have to have the strength to go back up. We'll do maybe 3 or 4, getting as close to chaturanga as possible. We'll see where we land. All right? One of the lessons of this posture is to let it take its time. Let your body find a modification so that you can work with the intelligence of the body and not push too hard. Inhale, plank. Plank. Got your plank. Then wrap the elbows, go a little down. Inhale, back up. So you push from the shoulders, lock your body tight. Bend the elbows a little more down. Inhale, push from the shoulders, come up. Again, bend the elbows, lock your body tight. Inhale, come up. Now exhale, chaturanga. Drop the elbows back, tailbone under. Exhale all the way down. All right, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Come down onto the knees. Rest for a moment. There's one more modification that you might be able to use. Again, grab the blocks so that you can feel the blocks can support or set up your shoulders. If you can't go very low to the ground, you may even want to set them up on the high zone. So here you're checking out, using the blocks to support the shoulders and make sure that your chest fits in between the blocks. Then curl your toes under and inhale. Find yourself supported in chaturanga. Stay there for a moment, bend your knees, slowly straighten the arms, come up. You might want to reposition the blocks again. And again, make sure that it's wide enough apart that your chest can really fit in between. And then bend the elbows, chaturanga. And then slowly pick it up. Knees down, straighten the arms. And I recommend that if you're using the blocks and you really feel you need the blocks of support for the shoulders, to go ahead and keep the knees down. And don't worry about trying this with the knees up off the ground. Let's move the blocks over to the side. Choose the Chaturanga option that's right for you, blocks or bolster, supporting the chest, all the way down on the ground. Only bend the elbows a little bit, knees down, or full Chaturanga. Now, inhale, plank. Hold plank. Here we go. Shoulders point forward. Remember your four-pointed staff pose. Then exhale, Chaturanga. Your gaze towards the nose. Avoid your head up too much. Avoid the head down. Head in a neutral position. Press from the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Come down onto your knees and let's sit down. When you're thinking about Chaturanga, you're thinking about the foundational arm balance, the whole yoga practice. So the work that you put in here pretty much determines your level of strength in almost every single transition, whether you jump or step back from many of the poses. The shoulder position here is also the same, kind of dropped elbows in, that will set you up for tripod headstand, and will also set you up for healthy transitions in and out of things like headstand or forearm balance. Watch the position of your shoulders, because this is a pose that you do over and over and over again. It's better to modify with good alignment than it is to push through and lose your form. Since Chaturanga is a pose that you'll do again and again and again, good form is so important. Otherwise, you can predispose yourself for these stress-related injuries or repetitive use injuries. You want to make sure that you're setting yourself up to get stronger and stronger and stronger, not wearing away the joints, the tendons, the muscles, or the ligaments of the body. Checking the corners of the shoulders is important because the shoulders are a kind of coat hanger weight distribution device, and when the shoulders are pointed forward, the collarbone destabilizes. So when the shoulders point back and down, that leaves your collarbone nice and broad. So we find that same position in Chaturanga. The ribs draw in so that you use your front body strength, the tailbone tucks under, and your neck is in a relatively neutral position. Gaze is either at the nose or slightly forward, but the head does not drop back, nor does the head drop forward. Find your integrated staff position. Put in the work here, and Chaturanga will definitely get stronger and stronger as you continue to practice. Watch your tailbone. In Chaturanga, it's really easy to have the tailbone up. This unfortunately juts weight into the front of the body. So this means if you're doing Chaturanga kind of like in that shape, then you want to put the knees down, tuck your tailbone, and work from here until your body is strong enough to support the movement. I just cannot emphasize enough how important good shoulder position, good pelvic position, and front body strength really is in Chaturanga. This took me so long to build, so if you put in the work, I know you can find the strength too. Find the way to work the pose that is safe and intelligent for your body. Close your eyes, bring your hands together. Thanks so much for joining me on the Encyclopedia of Yoga. I hope you keep the inspiration to practice every day. Namaste.